Hello students, welcome back to the English literature class. Today, let us go through the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear, written by Rabindranath Tagore. This poem was written in the beginning of the 20th century when India was still under the rule of British, living in subjugation and deprived of their pride and dignity. So, Tagore dreams and prays that India will once again be a free nation with its countrymen enjoying liberty. The poem is an evidence to prove that Tagore was a true patriot who dreamt of a free India. Now, let us know about the poet Rabindranath Tagore. Shri Rabindranath Tagore, poet, dramatist, novelist, educationist, philosopher and a nation builder need no introduction. Tagore was born on 7th May 1861 in Kolkata. He is well known for his famous work Gitanjali, written in Bengali. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in the year 1913. He founded a school at Shantiniketan and expanded it to an international university, Vishwabharati. He is the author of the Indian national anthem, Jana Gana Mana. The poem, Where the Mind is Without Fear, is in the form of a prayer to the God the Almighty for a true freedom of India. Let us go through the poem, children. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Okay, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Children, the poet prays to God that his countrymen should not live in fear of suppression. They should always be free from fear and live with self-pride. They should be free from superstitions also and live such a life where they can think fearlessly. The head should be held high to show self-respect and the pride of being an Indian. Where knowledge is free. Children, the poet tells everybody has equal rights to knowledge. Tagore wants everyone to have an access to quality education irrespective of caste, creed, status or religion. Education should not be the monopoly of the rich and the elite. Even the poor and the ordinary folk should have the right to education. Where the world has not been broken up into fragments. Children, according to Tagore, just political freedom is not enough. The people of India should get rid of petty differences and work in harmony for the betterment of their country. People should be able to live in a world which is not broken into fragments of poverty, religion, etc. No such wall should separate them from each other. They should remain one at heart by narrow domestic walls. Children, what are narrow domestic walls? Narrow domestic walls are the petty divisions on the basis of class, region, language, and religious parameters. Tagore wishes that the people should be broad-minded and treat their fellow countrymen as equals. Where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. Okay? Where words come out from the depth of truth. You see, children, Tagore prays to God that Indians should have the power to honestly stand up for what is right. In other words, the poet, that is Tagore, wants his countrymen to be truthful. where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. The poet wants his countrymen to work tirelessly in building a nation that is free in every way. They should work without getting exhausted to reach their goals. They should try to achieve perfection in whatever they do. Children, perfection is that ideal state of freedom where all citizens enjoy equal rights and status. Tireless striving stretches its arms. Children, do you find any figure of speech here? Yes, the figure of speech is personification. And what is personification? Personification is a figure of speech where inanimate or lifeless objects are spoken of as having life. Here, tireless striving has been personified like a human being stretching his arms to reach his goal through perfection. Where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit. You see, children, the poet believes in reasoning and logical thinking. He has compared reason to a clear stream. Children, dead habits have been compared to dreary desert sand, which is of no use to anyone. These dead habits refer to the bad or outdated customs, rituals, and superstitious beliefs and other evils prevalent in the society. The poet tells us that if our mind is clear of all evils, it will not lose its way in the dead habits of blind customs and traditions. What people require is scientific and rational approach. People should try to come out of these dead habits and follow the path of freedom from these evils. Where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Okay. Where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action. Children, here, thee is addressed to God, the universal father figure. The poet wishes that the mind of all his countrymen should be led by God so that they have widened viewpoint in thought and action. Ever-widening thoughts and actions are the mentality that is required for spreading of scientific approach and broad-mindedness. This should be followed by actions so that India can truly arrive in the world scenario. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. The last line is the poet's sincere prayer for India to attain perfect liberty of mind, thought, emotion, and action. What is heaven of freedom? Heaven of freedom is that ideal state where all restrictions for progress are removed, where the countrymen come out of dead habits and customs, where scientific and rational thinking thrives, where equality among people triumphs. See, children, the ideas and emotions expressed in the poem can be applied to any country and any citizen seeking to progress. The poem is trying to show the value of knowledge, courage, self-dignity, sincere and reasonable thought. If all these qualities are found in the countrymen of a particular country, the country itself will be the heaven. The poem begins with the idea that everyone in India should live fearlessly. They should be able to hold their heads high in self-respect without fearing oppression. Education should be free to all, irrespective of class and religion. It should not be a monopoly of the rich and affluent. The poet also visualizes an India, undivided on the lines of caste, creed, color, religion, and narrow political ideologies. The minds of the people should be enriched by ever-widening thoughts and actions that would be beneficial for nation building. Words of truth should be proclaimed courageously for the whole world to hear. We should be able to strive tirelessly to attain perfection. There should be a scientific temperament that will enable us to keep away from superstition and outdated rituals. The minds of the people should be directed to progressive thoughts and actions. Tagore prays to God that India may attain that heaven of freedom of sound reasoning and righteous action. True freedom is not only political but also in thought, reasoning, and broad-mindedness. Thank you.